Now, the first thing you need to ask yourself is that, am I having an income problem or am I having an indiscipline problem?
What is the income problem? If you remember in the first podcast, we spoke about strategies and structures for building wealth. Just like there are strategies and structures that need to be put in place to build wealth, there are also strategies and structures that need to be put in place to sustain wealth.
Yes. There's what we call the 50-30-20 rule.
50-30-20 rule.
Yes. And what that means is that you give 50% for your need, 30% for your want, and 20% for investment.
So the major issue there is because you don't even have the knowledge.
Yes.
Of this,
of how far or how much you've been spending.
Yes. Yeah. The problem of mismanagement that people are having is a lack of structure, basically.
Yes. First, poor accountability.
And
lack of structure.
I
was amazed at how much I've spent in 2 weeks. Today it wowed me because I didn't know that I was this reckless.
Now, we've been on a series, Financial Discipline, and in the last episode, we look at the concept of financial discipline, some common practices of financial indiscipline. In this particular episode, we are going to look at the strategies for financial discipline. And of course, David was on the last episode, and he is back again to dive deep into this subject matter with me again. So you are welcome on this show again, sir.
Thank you very much.
I mean, been few days from the first shoots, and how have you been?
Yeah, I've been fine.
I'll give you an opportunity to greet the house and then throw, a general overview.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm glad to have been here, and it's always an amazing time right here on this podcast session. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. So, looking at the general time, we're looking at strategies. George S. Clason, the writer of Richest Man in Babylon, there is a particular chapter that spoke about how to guide your goal. So, guiding what you have is very important. As we've rightly said from the previous section, we said that one of the hardest things to do is to keep and to sustain.
Yeah.
So at a point, it's even easier compared to getting. Because just like we've rightly laid the foundation in the beginning when we began this particular podcast, we said that someone can stumble into riches but is not wealthy. And so likewise, you can stumble, you can get a huge amount of money. Someone can just play a bet and maybe win 35 million naira or dollars, but yet will not have the appropriate strategies or the right methodology in order to actually get this wealth. So this is where strategies actually come in.
Wow.
Yes. And so, as you all know, it's very important to actually find the needed way in order to actually guide your wealth. Yes.
And that's where strategies comes in.
Yes.
If you remember in the first podcast, we spoke about strategies and structures for building wealth. Just like there are strategies and structures that need to be put in place to build wealth, there are also strategies and structures that need to be put in place to sustain wealth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
So I'll just go deep into the strategies. And one of the first one is accountability strategy. How does accountability strategy actually, help in discipline, financial discipline?
All right. I said something in the first episode regarding poor accountability structure, and I couldn't give a detailed explanation of that because of time and the time factor. Now, this is what I mean. Now, the purpose of research is to make informed decisions. And this is the more reason why people make random decisions. Why? Because they don't even know where the problem is coming from. And the reason why accountability is very important is because of this. I actually tested this particular strategy, and I'm going to share it with the house here. Now, I took track of my finances, taking track of my spendings, and even my charity giving, my transportation, and everything. I took note of everything. Now, for some of you now, you may be feeling, how can I do that? I'm very busy. You don't need to write it in a book. Technology has gone, has brought things very easy to our fingertips. Now, this is what I did. I was writing it in my notepad. If I bought food, I'll write it. Anything I buy, I write. And so I took track of everything in 2 weeks. I guess I just tried to, that was how I actually tracked it in 2 weeks. And after I did that, I just copied everything, took it to ChatGPT and pasted there and told ChatGPT, help me analyze, show me where I spend the most, show me where I spend the less, and what are my, and if possible, create a chart of how much and the days I've actually spent the most. And so I gave it a detailed prompting, and I was amazed at how much I've spent in 2 weeks. This was actually, it wowed me because I didn't know that I was this reckless.
Wow.
So that is why I began with, it takes information to make informed decision. If you don't practice this, if you don't track how much you have, you will not know, if you don't track how much you spend, you will not know where you're spending the most. And this is where people have been missing it. A lot of people have issues with spending, as we've rightly said, that, they have the disorder, we call it onomania. So, I guess people have that, but they don't even know where the problem is. So that is why they cannot solve it. So that is the purpose for information. Detail, as in bring out everything you've been spending, and at the end of the week, give an analysis of how much you've spent, where you have spent the most, and that will help you to make the right decision. If it means for you to cut or reduce in a particular place, or maybe you're giving excessively in a particular place, you don't make the right decisions when it comes to finance because you don't even know about what is happening in your life. Yeah.
Wow. So the major issue there is because you don't even have the knowledge.
Yes.
Of this,
of how far or how much you've been spending.
Yes. Yeah. So you are just spending. Yeah. I think I like that. I'm going to short try it and maybe come back to the podcast and tell them how that have helped me. But I believe that will help a lot. That will help. Because if you don't know on how your finances is going, you can't really track.
Yes.
You can't track it and you can't guide how much. You can't be financially disciplined. So you actually have to know, I'm spending on this, this is not needed, this is not needed, this is a want, this is a need, just like we spoke about in the previous episode, before you can actually give a right accountability strategy.
Yes. This just dropped in my mind, not to actually skip. I don't want to forget it. That's why I want to add up to that. You see, many people will feel as if, what is the need? What is the need thereof? Like, okay, I have the money, what is the need? But if you're actually struggling with, after a long while, you may have money and in a short while, you become broke. You actually need this. You actually need this. And many people will say, what about the rich people? They are accountable. I think the rich people are more accountable
to their finances.
Yes.
Actually, I agree with that.
People don't even know how much they earn. They don't even know how much they have. So you see, that's the problem. So it's when we have established that when it comes to financial discipline, it's not actually easy, but it's something that you'll be proud of once you've done the appropriate justice to that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I just, as if we should all jump away from that question, because there's so much about, to learn about the accountability. A lot of people don't actually know that accountability is very important and necessary and a core part of, financial discipline.
Yeah.
But thank God we heard it today. So we have a kind of, I would like to call them some set of people that feels managing the little they have is not enough. So how can someone manage the little he have?
People,
especially when especially when they feel that little is not enough.
Oh,
You understand?
yes. I get it. Now, you see, most people are actually mistaking a scenario that happens to another. Now, this is it. First thing you need to ask yourself, as in, if that person now, maybe you're the one asking this question now. Now, the first thing you need to ask yourself is that, am I having an income problem or am I having an indiscipline problem?
What is the income problem?
All right. So most people you don't have a sustainable income. That is to say, you don't have a job, you don't have a business, you don't have anywhere that money is coming. How do you expect any practice of financial discipline? You don't even know when the next money will come. So there is no way that particular practice is going to be possible. Why? Because there's no sustainable income. Yes. So you will find out that such kind of person, it will be hard for them to practice financial discipline. Why? Because you don't even know where the next money is coming to. Well, let's take, for instance, you are a salarian or you collect salary. You collect salary at the end of every month. Then if you're collecting, let's say, for example, you're collecting 300,000, you know how much you're actually giving to this particular thing. You know how much you're giving to this particular thing, how much you're saving, how much whatever way you're going to partition your money in order into structures, whatever you want to do, it will give you a better edge to do that. Why? Because you know that this particular money is consistent. But if you don't have an income, the first step is just for you to go and get an income. And then if you have an income, your problem is discipline problem. Now this is what you are going to do. There's what we call the 50-30-20 rule.
50-30-20 rule.
Yes. And what that means is that you give 50% for your need, 30% for your want, and 20% for investment. Now, particularly, I have my own strategy.
Yeah.
I have my own strategy. There are ways I actually I distribute the money that comes to me. I told you initially, any money that doesn't have a structure on how it should be spent, can be spent on anything. Now, so what I do is that whenever money comes, because I'm actually kingdom inclined, I remove everything that has to do with the church, and likewise remove that, and also remove for savings, and like savings and investment, likewise for my needs. You get it? Others have it others have it in chunks. Like personally, I also have a section for benevolence because I know I will have to definitely help people. So I remove for that also. So by the time you've actually extract some of these things, you will get to understand that whatever that is remaining, you have to discipline yourself to live within that particular means. Yeah. So this is the strategy you will have to use. So you will not need to spend anyhow. Why? Because you know that if you are allocating 50% for your need, that is actually for your needs. So, and if you actually that your want, whatsoever emergencies that are going to come, you're going to take care of it using that. You get it? And likewise, your saving and investment. So that 20% is okay. If you're looking at gathering over time, let's say, for example, once you save, you invest, you save, you invest. So once you do that over time, there is this satisfaction that will come to you. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So the problem of mismanagement that people are having is a lack of structure, basically.
Yes. First, poor accountability.
And lack of structure. Because first of all, you have not properly structure your finances. In fact, many people don't know the rules that guide their finances. Just like you mentioned, the 50-30-20 rule, many people don't have that kind of rule. So the entire million that enter your account is just spent haphazardly. There's no structure that guide that this is for charity, this is for wants, this is for need, and this is so try getting a rule. You must not stick to the 50-30-20. But have a rule that that works for you and guide your spending and guide your finances. I think that would help with a lot of these mismanagement strategies.
Yes, sir.
So the next question I wanted to ask here is, what are the possible ways to get out of these financial indisciplines?
All right. So just like I've established initially, one of it is having a good accountability structure for your finance. We've established that. And another has to do with, just like I've said, the 50-20-30 rule, which partitioning your finance into structures, into different places, and so that you will know that this one is actually allocated. So the other practice you need to do is the practice of savings. Savings. People will save for different reasons. There are actually savings for emergencies and savings for investment. So most people actually mistake these two. People thought as if they save both for emergencies, and likewise they save for investment in the same place. And when investment comes, they spend that which they will need for emergency, and when emergency comes, they spend for that which was meant for investment. Even though it's not good in order to just strain yourself when you need money, but then you should not neglect that money will only multiply when it's invested.
Wow.
Yes. So, but then it is needful for us to actually look at that. Look at the aspect of savings. Is very important. We also established that in the previous video that one of the first principle of capital formation is savings. So it's very important. And another thing we have to look at, the way out of financial discipline, is avoid competition.
Avoid competition.
Now, let's take for example, you have a Bentley. Maybe I have a Mercedes G-Wagon, and then I'll start striving. Maybe I start striving to say I must have a Bentley or something like that. That is pointless. That is just, like we've rightly established, lifestyle inflation, of which it's not needful. If I don't need a Bentley, I don't need a Bentley.
I need a Bentley.
So again, one of the things we should do or we should avoid is, no matter how much you're getting, if you don't invest in other places, you are not still secured. So one of the practices you should do is to diversify. Okay, let's say you are into media now. It's not a bad thing if you go into crypto. And it's not a bad thing. You don't even need to
have multiple streams.
Just have multiple streams. And it's not a bad thing if you venture into maybe transportation or buying of agricultural products or some of these things. All of these are actually ways you diversify, such that whatever will happen to this thing, you have another. So it actually also, I was hearing the billionaire Elon Musk, he was saying something. At the beginning of their businesses, they hit a certain threshold, and he was left with a decision to, I guess he was left with just $35 million. And then he was left with the decision whether to actually put it in one company and allow the other to die, or split the money into two, and maybe two of them will die. But then he said he decided to take the risk of splitting the money in between the companies. And it so happened that all of them peaked and everything went up. And as we all know, that business is actually risk. So you have to take that risk. So these are some of the things we should take note of. And I guess several others, of which we have actually listed in the first episode, and likewise during our conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It has been amazing session. It has been an amazing session to have you again on this episode, and also discussing this subject matter.
Thank you, sir.
I think we'll draw the curtain here for today, and then see how we can come back with another episode. So we might bring another episode under financial discipline, or we might move from financial discipline, depending on the response we get from the audience. If there are areas that they throw questions that we see that there is a need for us to come back and look at it, we might come back with the part 3 for this particular series. But if everybody is clear and understands the financial discipline well, then we can move to another series. Thank you so much. But before we close down, is there something you want to say?
No, it's okay.
Thank you so much. So we'll see you on the next episode. Remember, this is MomentumX, creating the moment for your next level. So I'll see you on the next level. Thank you. Bye.
All right, so thank you very much, sir.